off where the rubber meets the road is on the municipal level. We all know that decisions get made in town and village levels. All the projects that we want to see approved on a local level these are the folks that make it happen. So the person who's the best provocateur that I know, who's done this now 5 years straight, and really keeps these guys on their heels. And she needs no introduction. You read her about her columns every couple days in Newsday, and she's certainly a friend of the smart growth movement and getting things done on Long Island. Joy Brown.
And how long do you want to go? Good morning.
Good morning.
First, I have to apologize. If it's this time of year, I'm having trouble with asthma, and if I'm having trouble with asthma, I'm taking hits of albuterol, which either makes me probably a little more excitable than I normally am. So if things go awry, blame it on the drugs. But let's start out with what we all really want to know. Elections. What is going to happen? What signals, what messages are you guys getting from the elections? And why don't we start with Jack? You got an update for us, Jack?
Sure. Talk about keeping someone on his heels. Good to see you, Joy. Thanks for picking me first.
You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming.
Elections. We're almost through the counting. I believe that if there's one thing we've seen during this year's election, it's that in New York State, the public expects their elected officials to work together to solve issues. There are no clear mandates out there for anyone. When you're talking about hundreds of votes separating two candidates when over 85,000 votes are cast, I think the answer out there is that people want people to work together to solve those issues that are affecting our region. For me, it comes back to trying to represent those things that were part of the things that we're discussing here, but also talking about issues involving Long Island and sustainability as we head into the 21st century. So if there's a message that I think we have out of these elections, it's that less polarization, less politics, and more getting down to creating those jobs and those opportunities that people are looking for as we get through this tough economic time.
Anybody else? I mean, is this election going to make you bolder in terms of getting smart growth projects done, or is it going to make you kind of shrink back? Because the other reality here is that there's not a lot of money out there.
I think people are generally angry. I mean, this was a very, very angry electorate. I mean, so I don't know that the people on this dais, it's an environment for necessarily bold choices. People are very insecure about the economy, about their savings, and the electorate that I come in touch with and see on a day-to-day basis and that came to the polls, I got a tremendous sense of anger.
So if they're angry, are you gonna step back or step forward, though?
You got to step forward. I would disagree. I think people are angry because there has been so much hesitancy in elected officials over the years. You can't play both sides of the road towards the middle. People want something done. Let's stop talking about it. If we're going to talk about smart growth issues, then let's go out there and vote the way we've spoken about these issues in the past. If there's a project that affects our local communities and we know it's right for our local communities, then let's have the courage of our own convictions and let's vote in favor of those things that we speak about time and again.
Mr.
Joy, if I might. I think people are angry too, and I think primarily they're angry about the economy and the loss of jobs and the loss of their homes. And I think unless we do change the way we do things, particularly in suburban settings like Long Island, that anger will continue. We cannot sustain our economy as we have been building it. We cannot sustain suburban sprawl. We need to move away from that model. And I want to say, as an elected official, that is not easy to do. So people are angry. They want change. And yet there is a large pocket of individuals who continually fight that change. But unless we do change, the economy will not improve, and we will be continuously addicted to both the overuse of oil and our automobiles, and that unfortunately is not sustainable. So I think you're going to hear from this panel a lot of ways to change that.
Steve Ballone, you snuck in behind me, but I saw you. So I'm going to put you on the spot. You're going to move forward, or you're going to step back because people are angry?
Well, we're moving forward. We have to. I strongly believe that. I mean, certainly what Councilman Cuthbert was saying is right, and we have to be conscious of the mood of the electorate and the feelings of the electorate. But no matter what, in order to move forward, in order to make progress, you have got to be deeply immersed in working with the community in whatever project you're doing. And I'm a big believer in, if you get to a hearing and everybody's still angry and none of the issues have been dealt with, then you've lost the battle already. You've got to do the engagement prior to projects coming forward. And we are engaged in a number of different projects right now, and the community process is intense and it's difficult. A lot of things that Connie had mentioned, Councilwoman Keppert had mentioned, are real challenges, the people out there that oppose projects like this. But there are a lot of good people out there that are open-minded, but you've got to go out there, you've got to get them, you've got to pull them into the process, and when you do that, you can build a consensus that will allow you to move forward. And that's an important point, I think. We can't search or seek unanimity among the electorate because it's a dream. You'll never get it. What you have to do is try to build a consensus, and then once you have that, move forward, take action, and in some cases be bold.
Which means getting people screaming and yelling and hollering at you.
It's part of the job description.
Is it part of the job description?
It is part of the job description. I think that on the one hand, when things are bad and at some point there's a sense of despair, and while people are angry and frustrated and we need to be cognizant of it, there's also opportunity there, because that's when people might be willing to try something else. We say we want to maintain the status quo, and part of our job is, as an elected official, is to help maintain that status quo, because that's kind of what people generally want. They don't want great change. Every once in a while they demand it. If you look at the national level, 2 years ago they demanded great change and they got it, and now they're throwing half the people out who made it. So yes, it's great to say it. When you try to do it, it doesn't work so well. That being said, there are moments of opportunity, such as now, that we can jump in and try to move a project forward. And then, again, on the other side of that, because people are so angry, the nastiest, loudest, meanest voices tend to prevail. You come to a meeting, you could have 5 people who are just vicious, and 30, 50, 100 other people in that crowd will clap when they call us names, challenge our integrity, our ability, and we are then supposed to go out and lead that group to something different. Very difficult to do. And so the question is, in a partisan nature, and I do appreciate what Jack said, and the proof is going to be in the pudding, because at the end of the day, when there's an angry crowd trashing one side of the aisle, half the politicians adopt that crowd's anger, and the other half, back off. The result is nothing gets done. That's the future. That's today, and that's yesterday. So that it's really hard to say that because of the anger it's going to change, or because of the opportunity we're going to do something positive. I think what you're going to see is a few projects, as always, will break through. Most won't, and everyone's going to tread cautiously.
We have a new panelist this year, Mayor Garant on the end there. Are the people in Port Jeff Village